Flex is genuinely doing like a little dance to this Spanish music. Doing a little salsa.
I am.
A little salsa.
A little bit of a salsa. I'm in a good
excited.
mood. No, I'm not really.
You're not. You're about as excited as you were for the start of this season when you still had Erik ten Hag.
No, I'm less excited. No. I'm honestly. I know it doesn't always come across because sometimes you make me laugh. You just always make me laugh. But honestly, I'm so calm about this. Like, I'm not just expecting him to just walk into Old Trafford, say I'm going to play a 3-4-3, and all of a sudden Man United are back. Well, it's just not going to happen like that.
It has potential to happen, though, mate. It has potential to happen. Listen, let's listen to Ruben Amorim, who was asked what that performance last night, Sporting absolutely thrashing Man City 4-1. He was asked what message that sends to the Premier League.
Yeah, it's misleading. Like I was saying, we were very lucky today in the game. So, but the feeling with my players, the way they celebrate this win, the moment with the fans, was very, very special. So I take this to Premier League. When I arrive there, it's a different world, a different pressure. I will try to be the same. So will be fun, very fun, and I'm ready for the challenge.
There we go, ready for the challenge as well. You mentioned there that you're slightly sceptical that he will come straight in immediately.
Yeah, we have to be.
Football. Do you want him almost to not come in and immediately go right 3 at the back, 4 in the middle, 3 up front?
No. I think he should do that. He absolutely should come in and say, this is how we're going to play. I think one thing Erik ten Hag did very, very early in his Man United career is basically discard the things that made him very attractive in the first place to come to the club. So, and then proceed to sort of say, I can't play the Ajax way, don't have those players, and then buy Ajax players and still not play it. So you get where I'm going with that, right?
Also buy Ajax players and then say, we don't have the players to play this.
That's what I mean.
All the players that
exactly
played it.
It doesn't make any sense. So, or it didn't make any sense. So I think what I really want to see Ruben Amorim do within I'm probably going to give him 10 games. And within that 10 games, I would like him to have, of course, the shape should be there, and more importantly, a settled starting 11. Because, Erik ten Hag was chopping and changing, didn't know his best players. Yes, of course, injuries. But with what he's got, I think 10 games is a good amount of time for him to, if he wants to do something like what Jamie Carragher said, which I don't think he will, but, maybe Garnacho will try a left wing back to see what that looks like, or an inside 10, see what that looks like. Maybe Bruno might not play as a 10. He might play a little bit deeper. We have to wait and see. The 3 centre-backs, Lenny Yoro hasn't even played a competitive game for Man United yet. We've got to let him come into it. He's just back to first team training today. So Malacia is back. We don't have a proper left wing back as it says. So there's a lot for him to do. But I just think that we have to just have it game by game. And I've learnt my mistakes. Honestly, I know you laugh, but I'm seriously, I've learnt from my mistakes of going, look what that manager's done over there. He can come here and just do that. I've seen it go wrong, and it's not transferable. And I love that Ruben Amorim is saying that himself.
That's a good sign, I think, firstly. The other thing I was going to ask you is, are you braced for, potentially not the biggest manager bounce we've ever
100%.
seen? Are you braced for some poor results? And do you think that Manchester United fans as well will be patient with this?
I think so. I think when you come in mid-season with the team in 13th, no Man United fan in the first sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 games can be like, well, why isn't this like that? Why, he hasn't even had a transfer window. He hasn't even bought one player. So it really is. It's not a free hit because it's Man United and we've got this guy in now for improvement. So you can't keep sliding down the table. But he has got a lot of money in the bank in terms of credit, in terms of patience, because it's £600 million spent on a team that wasn't built for 3-4-3, I'll tell you that. So it's going to be very interesting, actually, how they undo that or how he incorporates what's there. And what I will say is, I also have to remember that if you are a good manager, there's enough examples out there that if you're a good enough manager, it doesn't matter what you walk into, you do find a way to see marginal improvements visibly straight away. They're more organised. Visibly straight away, they're more compact. Visibly straight away, they're creating more chances. So then you can start looking at individuals and go, okay, well, once you address maybe that or this, then you're onto something. But right now, he's doing the best he can.
I know you're excited about this style in the long term, and let's be honest, it'll be the first time Man United have had a proper identity for, I think, a fair
If he does it, yeah.
If he can pull it off, exactly.
If he does
it. But let's hear from Paul Hurst from the Times. He covers Manchester United. He was speaking to talkSPORT last night about how Amorim's wing-backs might not translate so well into the Premier League.
Seen two of their matches, and they do play three at the back, 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1. The most important players in that team are the wing backs. They're very energetic. They are, when they're attacking, they are in line with the front three. So you've got 5 attacking players, which is very exciting to see when they're in the full flow. But when they're defending, the wing backs they always sprint back to form a back 5. So that forms a defensive kind of block. My worry is that I've seen them here when they've been defending. The wing backs have sprinted back when they've lost possession. I just not sure whether they'll have time to get back and make cover in the Premier League. The Portuguese league is a lot slower. The attacks build a lot more slowly. So I just think if you're playing against a team like Liverpool, Brentford, teams that really play on the counter attack, like City as well. Obviously, they can get moving when they want to. I just think that'll be difficult for him to implement in the Premier League.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Gulp.
Listen,
does that worry you? No, seriously, does that worry you at all? Because Paul's obviously been watching Sporting Lisbon, but he also watches a lot of Manchester United. He knows the players in the squad.
Paul,
and of course, Mazraoui, who I thought was brilliant.
He was brilliant against Chelsea,
and Dalot at the moment. But as much as Paul is saying that, would this be something that is solved by good recruitment and decent signings? And you've
Correct.
also got the people in positions now at the top of the club where you feel like the transfer strategy will move to an area where Manchester United, you would think and you would maybe hope, will get it right.
Yeah,
as well.
And that's the thing. That's what I was saying to you earlier in the show. What you can see with this manager is the recipe is there. If you put the right ingredients with this manager, he's showing you what he's able to make, right? But the recruitment has got to be spot on. You've got to start getting in players that suit this style. And this is what Sir Jim Ratcliffe said as soon as he came in. He said, we will identify the style and it's down to the coach to implement that. Also, being a head coach, it's now down to them to get him players that are going to be conducive to his style. But Paul makes a good point. This is what I mean. In the Premier League, it's a different world. Ruben Amorim said, quote, it's a different world. At United, we can't defend like that. Against Manchester City, they sat back in and those wing-backs do come back and it's almost like a flat back 5. It's actually quite defensive. At Old Trafford, at home to Forest, you can't do that. You've got to be on the front foot. You've got to be asking questions. So these are all situations that Ruben Amorim has to overcome. Also the willingness to and desire in our current squad to put that level of intensity in. That's another big question mark because Paul's right. When I've been watching Sporting, you can see the intensity in the recovery runs. You can see the intensity in the wing backs going that way. It's very, very intense, and we don't play with that intensity. So that's an almost complete contrast to how we are now. So it's interesting to hear Onana saying that he thinks we can play that. Yeah,
well, actually, let's have a quick listen to that as well, because someone watching last night was Andre Onana, the Manchester United goalkeeper. He thinks that him and his teammates are capable of playing Amorim's football, having seen the game last night.
I did watch a game yesterday. Great victory from there, by the way. Different system, but my players, my teammates, we are all pragmatic now. I think everyone here is capable to play in each system, so I don't think this will be any issue for us. We have big players, so they will step up.
Won't be any issue. Big players that are going to step up.
He's got to say that.
He has to say
he's
that.
Not. He's got to say. And
imagine if he said.
I've seen Onana come out and speak after some real bad times, mate. And he's got to say, look, we believe in us. And he's a really positive. He's a proper positive guy. But yeah, I don't know. I've got reservations. It'd be interesting to see.
Just one last thing on this as well.
Yeah.
I really want to ask you about Marcus Rashford and where he's left in this scenario. What happens to him now? Is this maybe this disappointment? Maybe start of the end for Marcus Rashford at Man United?
Too early to say. Got to have a look at him in this system with this manager. You can't write anything off, that's for sure. Things that you might think could be completely off the table with a new manager could be completely on them. You just do not know. I do think with Rashford's reputation and some of the form he has shown in his career, he'll definitely be someone who Ruben Amorim comes in and says, I'm happy I've got him. I've got Marcus Rashford. I'm going to try and get a tune out of him. And I'm hoping that he can. But he needs to be ruthless though. If it's not happening, if it's not working, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Marcus Rashford, whether it's Bruno, whether it's one of Erik ten Hag's purchases. It doesn't matter who it is. He needs to be allowed to build the squad that he wants to build. But Marcus Rashford, I think, as one of those inside 10s, I don't really fancy that. It's not something that I've seen Rashford
where does he
be.
Play as a wing back? Does he play
Exactly.
in the middle?
Maybe he does. I can't see it. So these are all the things why I'm like, let me just relax. They've bought players for that system in sport and it's working very well. Man United, different beast.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed, and I'm looking forward to it. Will Flex maintain his good move throughout the whole season? I certainly hope not. I'm joking, of course.
Right back at you.
Joking, of course.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.